Hey everybody, I want to go ahead and do this video about Gayle King and the recent backlash she received. I waited a little bit because I wanted to see if anything else happened as a result of, all the heat she's feeling right now. So you guys, I'm sure, have heard by now that Gayle King has been getting dragged for filth for this recent interview that she did with Lisa Leslie. Now, CBS put out a snippet of the interview until a couple of days ago, and the snippet that they put out is what's causing all the heat on Gayle. Now, Gayle and Oprah already been on black people's shit list for a minute, especially Oprah with the recent, the Russell Simmons stuff, the Michael Jackson stuff, people feeling like she is specifically targeting black men. Okay. So she sat down with Lisa Leslie, who was a really, really good friend to Kobe Bryant. And this is the interview that got a lot of people really, really mad at her. Take a look at this.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, well, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
Now, when this snippet of the interview aired, it went viral, and it went viral. People snapped the entire hell off, and they were dragging both Gayle and Oprah for filth. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the reactions from these celebrities.
Fuck ass, fucked up. Fuck Gayle and fuck Oprah. Y'all are some self-hating pieces of shit fuck asses. If I have never seen a coon more fucking coonier than goddamn Gayle and Okra. I'm over y'all. I don't give a fuck how rich you are, how much you fucking accomplished. You're tearing down the legacies of so many phenomenal, beautiful black men, and I don't fucking have time for it. I'm sick. I'm disgusted. You don't care about black people. Okra, I knew you wasn't shit when the kids was trying to take a picture with you and she was like, oh, I see your little crack phone. Okra.
Gayle King, why the fuck would you ask some shit like that? I don't give a fuck who friend it is. I don't give a fuck she can Obama or Oprah. Why the fuck would you do something like that? Why would you do that to your people? You know what people going through, right? Why would you ask a fucking question like that, trying to tarnish somebody's image? You do that to your own black people. You sad. I'm finna fire your ass up. You sad, bro. People be talking, black people need to stop fucking trying to hurt black people for success. It's all the reason you ask that fucking shit for, to get your fucking numbers up. Give a fuck who you can to.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Now, first things first, I think Lisa Leslie definitely responded in a really good way. And then Snoop Dogg, of course, posted this, did that fake-ass Michael Jackson shit to tarnish his name with them lying-ass kids. And then he said free Bill Cosby, which a lot of people was like, ooh, we was on to something until you said free Bill Cosby, but that's a whole nother story. Then Bill Cosby decided to say, oh, okay, Snoop Dogg, when they brought me to my gated community and placed me inside of my penthouse, they didn't win, nor did they silence me. It's so sad and disappointing that successful black women are being used to tarnish the image and legacy of successful black men, even in death. So Bill Cosby was like, I'm speaking up too. You know that ain't damn Bill Cosby. He got cataracts. He got glaucoma or something like that. LeBron James said, protect at Lisa Leslie at all costs. You're a real superhero. Sorry you had to go through that shit. We are our own worst enemies. Mamba for life. And then Snoop Dogg wasn't finished. He said, we waiting, when, or is it only blacks that y'all want to interview and try to tarnish their reputation over accusations? Fuck both you hoes on behalf of the whole hood. You bitches not with us. Gayle and Oprah been on bullshit. So fuck y'all and y'all superpowers. Yeah. Some of these responses from Snoop Dogg, I understand that people are upset, but that didn't sit well with me, some of the things that they were saying. I think Lisa Leslie handled herself very, very well. She absolutely handled it well. So, listen, don't think that Gayle wasn't paying attention, okay? Gayle King was definitely paying attention to the backlash that she was receiving because she decided to come out and respond.
I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing? Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people are talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you. People will troll you. It'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's, to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview, talked about many things: his career, his passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case, because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that part be in the interview, because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part, when taken out of context, and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview, is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I, too, am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, and to let everybody know that no disrespect intended. And now I've got to go to work. I thank you for listening.
Now, I've shown you 3 different things here. I've shown you the initial video that got people upset with Gayle. I also showed you a few reactions from people, you know, celebrities and whatnot. And I also showed you Gayle's reaction to the backlash and her explanation for it. Now, there's a couple of things here I want to talk about. I'm trying to like compartmentalize it. It's a lot. I watched the entire interview with her and Lisa Leslie, and when I saw that clip, I was mad too. All right. Not mad enough to call these women bitches and hoes, because I don't think they're bitches and I don't think they're hoes. All right. I think they've been dragged enough. So I want to look at the more of the why of this is in its entirety. Okay. I didn't understand why she felt it necessary to press Lisa Leslie. Now, she is a journalist, and a lot of people will say, well, no, that's her job. She is doing her journalistic duty to follow up. But when Lisa Leslie responded the first time, I felt like what pissed me off about what Gayle King did is that she tried to weaponize her gender by saying, well, as a woman, and that immediately put Lisa Leslie in a very awkward position to have to answer. Now, she did very well. She held it down. She didn't fold or anything like that. But it put her in a very awkward position here because you're weaponizing her gender against her friend. That's what Gayle did, and that's what pissed me off about that. Now, the responses from people. I think that we're in a generation now where when it comes to Gayle, you know, there used to be a time when you couldn't say shit about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was like the goddess of black folks, some black folks, especially that older generation where people would have never thought to call either one of these women out their names and say anything bad about them because people wanted to be accepted by Oprah Winfrey. You wanted to be blessed by Oprah. These people don't give a damn this right now. They don't care. They don't have that kind of reverence for these women, as you can see. I still don't necessarily care for the threatening of them, because at the end of the day, that's problematic in itself. To even if you don't respect or you don't agree with these black women, at the end of the day, I feel like a part of that response, that Snoop Dogg and Lil Boosie and stuff, it still kind of perpetuates this thing like black women, no matter what, still get they still get roughed up. And that's a whole nother conversation though to have. That it really is a whole nother conversation. But I just want to point that out, that I didn't like that. That didn't feel good. Now, Gayle King is trying to backpedal and pussy pop here. And it sounds like a bunch of shit to me. She's sitting here, it's like, I didn't know that they were going to release that snippet. But you know, you asked the question. You asked the question. So even whether they asked it, whether they put that in the snippet or not, you still asked the question. And I agree with Lisa Leslie. You had all this time to ask Kobe Bryant while alive these questions. You didn't, and now you are taking the time while this man is deceased and people are mourning, his family is mourning, to ask him about a case that was dismissed. And yeah, that bothered me. And the reason why this is bothering a lot of people is because, like everybody is saying, even if they have a different way of saying it and their approaches are different, I agree with them as far as y'all, you and Oprah sit here and you break bread and you all chummy with Harvey Weinstein. You were chummy with Matt Lauer. You're chummy with Les Moonves. You're chummy with Charlie Rose. All these men have been accused of some kind of sexual impropriety, sexual assault, just misbehaving, right? And Oprah's response to that not too long ago, which is why Monique responded, was like when they talked about Harvey Weinstein, she talking about, well, I like to find the silver lining in in the rainbow or something like that. There's a silver lining in every dark cloud. Some bullshit that she tried to peddle when they were asking her about Harvey Weinstein. She didn't come at him with the same vigor that she came after Michael Jackson, that she came after Russell Simmons and others. Okay. And it got a lot of people like looking at Gayle funny too. Now you have to remember something. People were praising Gayle for that R. Kelly interview when he kind of lost it and shit. But now people are looking at it a little different, because if you don't know this, Gayle King went on to sign an $11 million contract with CBS. Like, she did her duty. Now, it don't matter what side you're on this R. Kelly thing. People already know my position about how I feel about that man. But you have to wonder the why now. Like, why is it that you are targeting this person? Oprah Winfrey talking about she won't be silenced by Russell Simmons, even though she pulled out of the thing. She said that doesn't mean that I don't think he's this and this and this and this. The Michael Jackson stuff, when she was friends with Michael Jackson, and then she snaked him. The way Oprah went after the Central Park Five early on and then flipped it and then wanted to be a producer on When They See Us. See, I've read all of this. I see it. I know it all. Okay. I've been looking at Oprah for a long time with a side eye. And even though people don't like Monique, they really need to pay attention to what Monique says. Even if you don't agree with her methods and stuff like that, she's been calling her out for a long time for how she did Monique. Monique shared something very personal with her, very traumatizing with her, about her brother molesting her. And then what does Oprah do? She sensationalizes by putting them on TV. She snaked her. Gayle King knew the questions that were going to be asked. Gayle King could have declined to ask those questions to Lisa Leslie if she wanted to. Don't sit here and act like Gayle King don't have no pull. But at the same time, she just signed an $11 million contract. So she got to do the bidding of the network. And what does these networks do? They want to paint a certain narrative about black men. They do. About black people in general. And who better to do it than a black woman? Now, again, I think Lisa Leslie handled it perfectly. But Gayle King don't get off the hook by simply saying, I didn't know. That's a bullshit excuse. You did know. You knew what you asked. So even if they put out the clip, you've been in this business forever, Gayle. Forever. You know exactly how this works. And you know that they're going to put out the juiciest bits to get the people riled in. You knew that. And it worked. Because that snippet went viral. And now everybody wanted to go see the damn interview. It did what it was supposed to do. All right. Now, some people will go back and forth about, well, again, she's doing her job. This is her journalistic duty. Why are people upset with her for doing her job? I still feel like there is some liberties that you can take, especially in a position that Gayle is. She's not some like up and coming journalist. She wanted to do that. And then because she's a part of that white feminist movement, her and Oprah both, white feminists. They subscribe to that white feminism, which is like attack everybody, attack. They're part of that movement. They're a part of that. And so it was not surprising to me that, again, she attempted to weaponize Lisa Leslie's gender. But ask her about Charlie Rose. Charlie Rose has been her friend for a long time. And Charlie Rose was let go because of sexual impropriety. All right. From PBS, I believe. Right. And when asked about him, again, a man who was accused of sexual misconduct, sexual assault, she went on to say there are two sides to every story. So she didn't condemn Charlie Rose immediately. She didn't condemn Les Moonves. Now, Les Moonves is Julie Chen's husband from CBS. He was the head of CBS. He was let go for the same kind of shit. She didn't condemn any of these guys. She didn't condemn she didn't ask Julie Chen, well, what about your husband and so and so, so. No, there's two sides to every story. When a young man was interviewed, this is just a part of the article, when she talked about how difficult it is being his friend. Like, well, there's two sides to every story, and people should have redemption. She was talking about the Me Too movement and how men should be redeemed. There should be some level of redemption for these men that have been accused. But it's funny to me that she doesn't have that same energy for black men. All right. It was get Michael Jackson the hell out of, get a dead man the hell out of here with Leaving Neverland when it came to Oprah Winfrey. All right. It was get I ain't too upset about R. Kelly getting the hell out of here. Okay. I'm really not. But Russell Simmons, all these men, even if they did or they didn't, it's clear. There's a clear contrast between giving these white men a second pass and a redemption because that's your friend, and your friend wouldn't do that. And I know my friend, that is what Lisa Leslie was telling Gayle in that moment, and she still kind of gave her the side eye, like, well, you wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't see that, would you? I thought that was really snarky how she responded when Lisa responded to her. She's like, well, you wouldn't see that, would you? It was really snarky, real nasty, in my opinion, how she responded to that. And like I said, now she want to backpedal and pussy pop about it, and she want to act like, well, I saw all the reaction too, and if I just saw that snippet, I would have been upset too. Gayle, stop, okay? Because at the same time, you did the interview, you knew what you asked. Give it a rest. Now, I could go on and on and on, and I won't. But I just want to say, Gayle, we see right through you. We see through Oprah. We see how you treat these guys over here compared to these men over here. Harvey Weinstein gets the silver lining from the rainbow. All right. There's two sides to every story for Charlie Rose, but everybody else, they don't get the benefit of the doubt. And black men have never gotten the benefit of the doubt. Now, there's going to be people that jump on this video because I've heard the comments and say, why are people taking up for Kobe Bryant? He didn't even like black women, and he married this. Listen, at the end of the day, he had been with Vanessa for a really, really long time, since that girl was 17 years old. And I don't believe that he didn't like black women. See, I don't, that's a good discussion to have, and I'm going to have it on a different video, but here's why I don't feel like that when it comes to Kobe. If Kobe had come out and said, I'm dating her because black women are this, and this, and this, I would be like, you know what? I can't be defending that. I understand how you feel, but I've never once heard that. That man, even though he's cheated on her and all this stuff, he's been with Vanessa since she was 17 years old. They've been together pretty much his entire life. Okay, he dated Brandy and all this other stuff. If he was made disparaging remarks to spite black women and say, this is why I don't like black women, that would be different. And so I do take issue when I see people saying, why are you guys defending this man? He didn't even like us. How do you know he didn't like us? Did he specifically say he didn't like black women because he dated a Mexican woman and married her? That's a conversation in itself that will not go on this video, but I just want to kind of bring that up because I don't think that's fair. There are some athletes that will target others and say they don't like black women because they got attitudes and they don't do this. And we've seen that. But I don't feel like this is that. I don't feel like this is that. So I'm not going to do that and dismiss Kobe Bryant and his legacy because he was with this person over here. That I'm not doing that on that. I'm just not. I'm not. Like I said, I think Lisa Leslie did really well. Oprah, Gayle, they on y'all asses. But at the same time, even when they on your asses, I still don't like how some people are coming at them either. I don't agree with either woman, okay? But I'm not going to sit here and be calling them bitches and hoes either, because that in itself perpetuates this idea that black men still think of black women like that. And I don't think that all black men do that. And I don't like that those men are out here threatening and saying those kind of things, calling them hoes. At the end of the day, I can't rock with that. I can't, even if you're mad, I can't rock with that. All right. I can disagree with what they said. I can say that there's an agenda put out there, perpetuated by these women who subscribe to the white feminist movement, but I will not sit here and disparage either one of these women by calling them bitches and hoes. I will not do that. I won't. I don't like what they did, and I don't like what they do. And they get dragged enough, but I won't do that. All right. Now I ask you guys, how did you feel about that interview that she did with Lisa Leslie? How do you feel about her response to the interview?